Germany's foreign ministry is calling for a transparent probe into abuse claims after more evidence emerged of China's brutal crackdown on its predominantly Muslim Uyghur minority. A cache of documents dubbed the Xinjiang Police Files was leaked to international media, including photographs inside Xinjiang's mass incarceration facilities. It's a rare look behind the walls of a so-called re-education camp in the northwestern Chinese province. The photos show police using physical force against prisoners in handcuffs and chains. The leak was published by a consortium of investigative journalists, including from the BBC and Germany's Der Spiegel and ARD. The publication coincides with the arrival in China of the UN Human Rights Commissioner Michelle Bachelet. We're now joined by Frederick Obermeier from the German media outlet Der Spiegel. He is one of the about 30 investigative journalists behind this story. So very good to have you with us. First of all, after years of denial by the Chinese government, your research gives hundreds of thousands of abused Uyghurs a face. Please help us to understand the meaning of it by sharing the story that stood out most for you.
I think the most important thing about the Xinjiang Police Files is that we now see faces attached to this crime against humanity. We see thousands of people detained in camps in northwestern China. We see 15-year-old children being detained, up to elderly women, like 73-year-old women, being detained there. And first of all, and first and foremost, we see the argument of the Chinese government countered. The argumentation so far was that this is vocational schools, that people are there on their own will, they could leave whenever they want. But in the documents that were leaked to us, we see now a shoot-to-kill policy. We see that the Uyghurs in those camps were held there by force.
Now, the dataset consists of more than 5,000 photos, many of them showing sensitive and security-related footage. Do we know who did take them and why?
No, we don't know who exactly took those photos. We have hints that it was people working in those camps taking them, like, for example, mugshots of the people detained there, and then like making photos of their exercises, of them treating the detained individuals. And then the data was obtained by a source who leaked it to a German scientist called Adrian Senz. So far, we have to think that the source could be a hacker. Obviously, the data comes from within the Chinese government and authority apparatus, and we were able to independently verify the documents and the photos.
I mean, it is a strange thought to think that the handling of the people would be documented in such a way. How do we know, or how could you assess that these pictures are actually real and not fake?
Well, first and foremost, we did hire independent experts who looked, checked the authenticity of the photos, if they were manipulated in any way. Then we, as a second step, we did geolocate many of those photos. For example, whenever you could see something in the pictures that was outside of the camps, for example, walls, towers, and stuff like that, and we were able to geolocate them with the help of satellite images. We also were able to find information in the metadata of the photos that showed us that they were taken within camps that could be seen from space via satellites. And then we also were able to speak with Uyghurs living outside China and who could that their relatives that we have seen on those photos and on the list of detained individuals, that they were disappeared basically several months or even years ago.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Frederick Obermeier from German media outlet Der Spiegel, one of the about 30 investigative journalists behind this story. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thanks for having me.